our Facebook page, Get Down to Business, and because we are streaming it live, so like that page. Mike Leon, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here today.
Absolutely. So you are, as mentioned, a cryptocurrency expert. You are known nationwide, working with Athena Investor Services. So let's start with you. Cryptocurrency is a fascinating space, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. Who are you? And tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So let me tell you how I got into this. And it really is a highly disruptive technology that I think we're in the really early days of. My background was when I graduated college in the early 80s. I worked for a trading firm on the floor of the CBOE. I traded for a while. And then for the last 20 years, prior to coming on to Athena, I ran the equity risk management group at Northern Trust. And in that group, I was working a lot with clients that had large concentrations of single stock because they were corporate executives, they had sold a business to a publicly traded company in a stock-for-stock deal, or they were getting distributions from venture capital and private equity. And it was from that I met the founders of Athena and became really interested in cryptocurrencies.
It's a fascinating background, and you've had a very interesting ride in getting to this point. Some pretty prominent companies along the way, and it is you started this that you mentioned by saying it's disruptive, and I think that is probably a pretty good description. So Athena Investor Services. So you are, based on your website, you guide clients through the digital currency landscape. What does that mean? Tell us about the team at Athena and what you guys do.
Sure. So I think what's really interesting when you look at the founders of Athena, they were really early adopters of crypto assets and distributed ledger technologies, or the blockchain. And they saw this as a world-changing transformational technology. And so they started both investing in digital assets very early on, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, but they also started two businesses. The first business is we have Bitcoin ATMs, and we have 72 Bitcoin ATMs in 6 states, plus 3 in Latin America, 1 in Argentina and 2 in Colombia, that allow individuals to go and buy Bitcoin 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from these kiosk machines located, again, throughout the country. In the ATMs, you can only buy up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. If you have an interest in buying more, and what I do is I run basically Athena Investor Services, which is a high-touch business to help clients invest, use, and trade in Bitcoin in the amounts between $10,000 and $5 million. And we do get a lot of clients that are coming in that want to buy $200,000. Sometimes it's $50,000. But we're seeing a continual flow of business from people that want to have a small position in this emerging technology.
So what sets Athena apart from other companies that are also sharing the market?
So I think when you look at where a lot of our competition is, they're names that you might have heard about. Coinbase, for example, or Gemini, which are 2 exchanges. The difference between what they do and what we offer is we offer a high-touch service. You can call me up. You can talk to me about the market. You can get our views, and we will make you a price on anything that you would like to do. When you're talking about a lot of these exchanges, it's really hard to talk to an individual. And so what we're seeing is a lot of clients that want help in how to hold the currencies. They want some information, and they want to be able to talk to somebody. And that's our big competitive advantage in the market.
Interesting. So who are potential investors? Why would somebody want to be talking about cryptocurrency? Isn't it risky? Sort of help us demystify what is truly a fascinating and as you said, disruptive space.
So I think the way that you have to think about blockchain and cryptocurrencies is that when you look at what's happening in the world right now, the largest hotel company in the world owns no hotels and no hotel rooms, and it's Airbnb. The largest transportation company in the world owns no cars and no planes, and it's Uber. The largest retailer does have a few stores now in Amazon, but it's the digitalization of everything. And this is the digitalization of value and money over the internet. Now, the way that I look at this in my own personal investments in crypto is that I want to have a small exposure. And when I mean small, I think between 3 to 8% of your investment portfolio in something like this is probably where you want to be. This is a highly volatile, highly risky asset class, and it could go to zero. But it's also, I think, very possible that we could see this up 20 or 40 times in the next 3 to 5 years. You know, when you look at something like Facebook went public in 2012. Today, Facebook is bigger than Wells Fargo, Boeing, GM, Ford combined. And a lot of, when you look at the technology companies that have been so transformational in this digital age, because the companies that are doing well are all digital technology companies, and the companies that are struggling are companies like GE, because we're moving away from that, from essentially the big manufacturing to the digitization of information. And that's really what cryptocurrencies allows you to get, is exposure in a decentralized blockchain that I think is going to become really interesting going forward.
So once again, we're chatting with Mike Leon, who is a nationally well-regarded expert in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain. And Mike, I've followed, although I have to say nowhere nearly as closely as you have clearly, I've followed the blockchain in the news, and I've been fascinated. I'm curious, what changes have you seen in the acceptance of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, and where do you see things going over the coming years?
Well, I think that acceptance right now, we are really at the early stages, and we're trying to, I think, gather whether or not this technology is going to work and whether or not it can be scaled. But I think what's interesting is that when you look at innovations, they are always looked at initially with either ridicule or nobody believes it's real. And you can go back to the telephone. You know, when the telephone was initially invented, it was going to be for telegraph operators to talk to other telegraph operators. Nobody had the idea that you would actually be able to pick up a phone and talk to somebody. The internet in 1993 to 1997 was laughed at. Nobody thought it would be a way to distribute information. And even something like cars. When cars were first invented, they were looked at as toys for the rich. So I think what we're seeing right now is a disruptive technology that has the potential, I think, to allow value to be sent over the internet to anyone for basically for free. And I think that that is really powerful. And, you know, when you look at something even like Twitter really allows instant global messaging around the world for free. If you had told somebody 50 years ago that you'd be able to talk to anybody and send information around the world for free, they would have thought you were crazy. And so I think that that's what we're looking at with the blockchain and Bitcoin, is a technology that has the potential to be highly disruptive, but it's at very early stages right here.
And for those that are listening that still have questions and that want to get in on the space, there's nobody better to talk to than Mike Leon from Athena Investor Services. Make it easy. On the website, there's certainly a full page of frequently asked questions. And as you said, Mike, the differentiator over here is that Athena is a high-touch investment services for digital currency and digital assets, and that is unique. That's different. You see a lot of websites that are out there, and it's very quick. It's do the transaction. You clearly have a specific niche in the market, and it's certainly helping your clients and those investors. So, Mike, we are out of time, and I want to make sure that people can find you and get in touch. What's the best method to follow up?
So they should go to our website, AthenaInvestorServices.com, fill out the initial questionnaire, and someone will be happy to get back to you. And again, even if you just want to talk and learn more about cryptocurrencies, we're happy to give you all the information that you could possibly want.
Excellent. AthenaInvestorServices.com. Lots of resources on that site. We're going to go to the headlines in just a moment, but we've got more for you on Get Down to Business after this break. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, and we'll be right back.
Not a day goes by